My name is Nick Faust. For those who don't know, I am the communications specialist in the city manager's office. And on behalf of the city, I really want to thank everybody for being here and welcome you to our 2023 Volunteer Appreciation Event. It's so awesome to be here today for this event, which aligns with National Volunteer Week, time communities across the nation really recognize the folks that make a difference, and that is volunteers. It's because of the continued commitment, I think, and I believe the city believes, that we can excel in our mission of providing effective and responsive municipal services. When we think about creating a Janesville where all of our residents can realize life's opportunities, that only happens because of the work and the dedication of volunteers who give their time and talent to the city. Over 600 folks by our count every year, many in this room, commit to Janesville because they believe in our community and they prioritize in making it a better place for our neighbors. Your contributions allow us as a city to excel past our resource constraints and limitations. You help us deepen our community partnerships, build coalitions as an organization with other groups as we work together to enhance our community. And while each of you commit for your own reasons with a sense of civic duty, each of you leaves your own unique impact on our community. If you can take a look at perhaps, hopefully, the slideshow playing behind me, I think it really clearly illustrates just how diverse our organization is when it comes to volunteer involvement if we think about all aspects of the city. And that starts at the very top. I always like to do this, but while often not acknowledged, our city council members are volunteers. The only compensation they receive is the satisfaction of representing their neighbors in the decision-making process. This past year as ever, they help us tackle issues that can at times be challenging. And while it's not always easy, their role is always critical to maintaining our democracy. Aiding in that, of course, is our board, committee, and commission members from the Alcohol License Advisory Committee to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Those individuals help our city council make informed and intelligent decisions by applying their expertise, so we thank them as well. Thinking of the democratic process and the election earlier this month, our volunteers who serve as poll workers allow our residents to exercise their right to vote. With a statewide Supreme Court race that made this election unlike any other of its type in terms of turnout, I think we once again saw with Lori and the CTO team how important volunteers were to that process. Turning to brighter and sunnier days ahead, literally, not today though, Wisconsin's Park Place continues to excel in the world of recreation and parks, and that's because we can extend leisure opportunities to our residents and visitors because of volunteers. If anyone visited the Bunny at the Square event earlier this month, thinking about a dreary and cold day, we still had volunteers from over 20 businesses and organizations who lent their time on, a snowy day and welcomed almost 1,000 people to Town Square. And that's just a snapshot, I think, of last year. Over 210,000 people participated in recreation events in the city. That wouldn't happen without volunteers who make music at the Marv, Enchanted Forest, Jolly Jingle. All of those events happen. I'd be remiss, of course, then if I forgot our friends groups who steward their own respective parks. They help us go above and beyond in maintaining those facilities, and they are a core part of one of the reasons why we have one of the best, if not the best, municipal parks systems in the state. Just down the road, I don't want to forget about our HPL friends. The Friends of the Hedberg Library continue to enhance that facility through the operation of the ground floor coffee shop, fundraising sales, and providing volunteer hours that extend library services and programs to our community and members of surrounding communities. To put that in perspective, last year the HPL made use of over 3,900 volunteer hours, which I think is an incredible figure. That level of outreach really enhances the capacity of our library, and it's important to recognize those folks. And lastly, for our public safety departments, Countless individuals, groups, and businesses throughout the year donate their time and supplies to the JPD and the JFD. Programs like National Night Out and essential outreach efforts are only possible because partner organizations and individuals help us to facilitate those meaningful community relationships. While I can't possibly sum up the full impact I would say volunteers have on the city, these examples show why the city remains incredibly grateful for your service and the work you do. It's now the city's honor to recognize this dedication with the announcement of our 2023 Volunteer Award recipients. While each of you act uniquely in your service, all of you as awardees share a unifying level of commitment and a distinguishing level of dedication to our community. Nominated by city staff, these individuals were ultimately selected for their embodiment of the volunteer spirit and their impact on Janesville. I'm now pleased to introduce the staff nominator for this year's Parks and Recreation Volunteer of the Year, Parks Director Cullen Slapak.
Good afternoon. As Nick said, in Parks and Recreation, we work with a multitude of friends groups, volunteers in every aspect of what we do. And so we thank everybody that works with us throughout the year. This year, we wanted to recognize one individual in particular. And so the Parks and Recreation Volunteer of the Year is Mr. Steve Huth. For those of you who don't know him, Steve is a member of the Janesville Lions Club, has been for a long time, has participated in many community events and projects over the decades that he's been with the club. Last year, Steve's role was significant to the Parks and Recreation divisions as the Lions Club purchased and constructed a new pavilion down at Lions Beach in honor of their 100th year as an organization in Janesville. So years ago, Steve sat down with Shelley and I and asked what would be a great amenity to Lions Beach, and we said, you know, a new pavilion where people could get out of the sun, maybe rent it for the weekend for celebrations, that type of stuff. And so Steve took that and ran with it. He led the project from the start. Steve knows how to get money, and so funding was never an option. He communicated with myself and with the contractors for the electrical, for the construction. So it was a great project, a fairly easy project on our end. Over the years, Steve's also been involved in the community as an educator, a school board member, school board president, and then also, as I said, a service club member. Through all this, Steve's remained a supporter of Parks and Recreation, involved in many more projects than we can list today. One of them that I wanted to talk about was Steve's involvement with the City Arboretum and Janesville Schools Outdoor Lab. Steve believes strongly in getting kids out into nature, getting them out there for class time, and knows that there's valuable lessons in getting kids in the woods. And so hopefully that will translate into education, the Janesville school system, and nature lovers in the future. Congratulations, Steve. Thank you for everything you do for us and for Janesville, especially the Parks and Recreation divisions.
Thanks. Cullen said I was limited to 45 minutes, so we'll try to, right, Doug? Just like a city council meeting, 45 minutes would be the limit? All right. So thanks. It's really an honor, and on behalf of the Lions Club and the school district, I appreciate this honor. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Congratulations again, Steve. Now it is my pleasure to announce this year's staff presenter of the Library Volunteer of the Year, Mary Schweigel.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary and I work at Hebburg Public Library. This is my first year working with volunteers. I recently assumed the position of bringing in people who do shelf reading at the library. It's a job that it's pretty tedious. You have to deal with all of our rules of how we shelve things and lots of questions. It's not, people come in thinking it's going to be not very challenging, so volunteers don't stick around for very long. We have been fortunate to get Eric on our team in the last year, and he comes in at least twice a week. There's rarely a week that goes by that I don't see him. And he shows his face, he asks questions, and we gave him a really abusive project this year of going through all of our senior care kits, because it came about that things were missing from them, and there was about 20 senior care kits, and he went through each one of those kits and itemized all the boxes and found several that were missing items. And I wasn't there that day, but he came back and continued to volunteer with us. So we really appreciated his help in the last year.
Simply just thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Congratulations again to you, Eric. Now, pleased to introduce the staff nominator for this year's Administrative Volunteer of the Year, Executive Director Jane Goldberg of Janesville Mobilizing for Change.
Good afternoon. My name is Jane Goldberg, and I'm with Janesville Mobilizing for Change. And for those of you who don't know, JAM4C is a substance abuse prevention coalition, and we are housed in the Hedberg Public Library. And I'm pleased to announce Mark Bumpus as the City of Janesville Administrative Volunteer of the Year. Mark has been with our organization for about 9 years. He is very deserving of this award for the countless hours of time he has dedicated to JM4C, not just this past year, but in previous years as well. Mark helps out at our events like Prevention in the Park, Hidden in Plain Sight, and the Reality Mazes at the middle school. He also donates his time to attend trainings throughout the state to stay up to date on substance abuse trends, and he will share that knowledge with other coalition members. Mark will also go above and beyond his volunteer role, like the time he held down our pop-up tent in a rainstorm, and he also was the only one to show up to a meeting in a snowstorm. He is very passionate about our mission of creating a safer and healthier community, so congratulations, Mark.
Had to bring that up, huh? Well, about 9 years ago, actually longer than that, a guy named Billy Bob Grant over there told me I'd have to get out. I had too much time on my hands. It was a bad thing for me to get out into the community. And so I was invited by Sherry Farber, a previous member of JM4C, to join their team and join the HTIF, the Homeless Intervention Task Force, and many other things I've gotten involved with, which now in my retirement is allowing me to do things for the community that I was never able to do before. So I'm looking forward to several more years of this. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Mark. Now announcing this year's Public Safety Volunteer of the Award, Staff Nominator Officer Sean Yout of the Janesville Police Department.
Hello. I'm proud to have nominated Pastor Jason Benjesdorf for the 2023 Public Safety Volunteer of the Year Award. Pastor Jason Benjesdorf is the full-time pastor at the Janesville Wesleyan Church. He has been a volunteer Janesville Police Department chaplain for 9 years. Chaplain Benjesdorf has been a solid member of our chaplain corps, taking call 24/7 for a week at a time on rotation with our other chaplains. He has dropped his personal plans countless times in the past to assist the Janesville Police Department with calls for service and critical incidents. Chaplain Benjesdorf serves other JPD chaplains by running the monthly meeting. He has helped facilitate 2 annual wellness events supporting officers' resilience. He has coordinated with area businesses through his community contacts to facilitate the wellness events. These events have been well attended by JPD officers and their family members. Another example of Pastor Benjesdorf's heart is that he assisted Janesville students by helping organize an annual multi-church school supply back-to-school event. Yet another service Chaplain Benjesdorf provided was to assist the family of retired Detective Dale Studica, who died suddenly after retirement. Pastor Benjesdorf officiated that funeral to honor our fallen brother. In June of 2018, after 4 years of volunteering with JPD, Pastor Benjesdorf was diagnosed with a serious health concern and needed to step away from the program to heal. With the help of God and his doctors, after a long fight, he is currently in good health. Throughout his difficult journey, Chaplain Benjesdorf has always had a passion to serve the church and JPD as a chaplain. When he was able, even while going through treatment, Chaplain Benjesdorf continued to be involved in the chaplain program. After beating the disease, he immediately wanted to return and serve the JPD chaplains program by resuming his on-call rotation. Chaplain Benjesdorf's commitment to JPD and his community are outstanding. His personality is humble, kind, and patient. He listens well and is genuinely concerned about the people he serves at JPD and in the community. Thank you for all you do. I'm proud to award you the 2023 Public Safety Volunteer of the Year Award.
I kind of joked earlier to just say, don't give a pastor a microphone. But I'll just say, just thank you. It really is an honor, and to just be recognized and just to continue to serve. So I didn't know I was actually going to be saying anything. So that's all right. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Today's last distinction is what we consider our Volunteer Recognition Program's Lifetime Achievement Award. The Park Place Partner is awarded to an individual whose efforts and tenured partnership with our city has left an lasting impact on Janesville, truly worthy of special recognition. Here to present his nominee and the city's 2023 Park Place Partner, Acting City Manager Dave Moore.
Good afternoon. Contrary to the uniform, I stand before you as the acting city manager, but NFL, not for long. Got a couple more weeks to go, and then we're done with this added duty. Really, it's my honor to introduce Doug Markline. Doug Markline is one of those leaders that really makes a long-lasting difference in our community. Mr. Markline, Doug, has been a committed volunteer for the city for over a decade and has served on the city council for 10 years, and 4 of which were the city council president. He has been involved in 7 subcommittees. A few of those are the Community Development Authority, Plan Commission, MPO Board, Sustainable Janesville, just to name a few. His leadership on the council has helped in various ways, to include making historic infrastructure investments in downtown, and we don't have to travel very far to see that. He was very important in hiring our new city manager, Kevin Lehner, because Doug was the only city council member that was involved in the previous hiring of Mark Freitag, so he was able to bring all of those experiences and help guide us through those very difficult decisions, if you will. Doug helped remedy the water utility fund, restore Monterey Park, increase Janesville's housing stock, and it really helped us through the COVID-19 pandemic. But I think most importantly, Doug has displayed thoughtful and a deliberate approach to problem solving. If any of you have watched him at the city council meetings or his deliveries, he's very thoughtful. He thinks things through, makes really good decisions, and other council members and other city leaders have really learned things from Doug. And I think that will be his heritage for the city, if you will, is that thoughtful response, that good decision making, and his mentorship for others. So, Doug, congratulations.
I didn't do this for this. Thank you all for your volunteer service to the City of Janesville. And I would encourage everyone here to find somebody this year and ask them, tap them on the shoulder and ask them to be a volunteer in an area of interest that they would like. I was reading something in the paper not too long ago that volunteer totals are down nationwide. People just aren't volunteering for things. I think part of that is that we were cooped up in our homes for 3 years and we didn't have interaction with other people. And I think most people thrive on interaction with other people, getting out and seeing other people that they know, and others being introduced to new friends and new people and new experiences. So after 3 years of staying at home, Zoom meetings, and then after that wearing a mask to be able to see smiling faces and visit with people and actually can hear them is a great experience. And my experience in the City of Janesville has been very rewarding. I don't take much credit. As Dave said, it was just basically common sense and being there at the meetings and trying to speak what you think is the best for our city to go forward. And so I appreciate it very much so, but it's just part of giving back to your community and interacting with other people, being fair, honest, and above all, being yourself and enjoying what you do. So thank you very much.
Congratulations again to Doug, and congratulations to all of this year's awardees. On behalf of the entire city team, I again want to thank you for your commitment to our organizational mission and to your neighbors in this community. It is now a portion of this program, if everybody is so inclined, where I'd like to turn the mic over to you folks, Janet, our happy helper, for staff and volunteers, families. If anybody in the audience would like to share a story or a gratitude to volunteers that they know in the community, this would be your chance, if you so please. Mr. Bumpus.
Excuse me. One of the things that's missing, Lori, the city clerk, was begging people to be volunteers for the election, this last election, and she was a number of people short. It takes over 200 people on a small election and much more than that on the large election. So please put that in your calendar for next year. Thank you.
Certainly an apt reminder. Anyone else? The man behind the camera, Alan Luckett with JATV.
Uh-oh. All right, I'm hoping I'm on the camera. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. All right, that's me. So yeah, I'm a volunteer on the Historic Commission, so we kind of make sure that our districts are healthy and vibrant, and we're going to improve on our education and all that, and outreach to kind of teach you on what's going on. But we also, oversee like the Courthouse Hill neighborhood, and projects that people are doing to their homes, so that we kind of keep that same flavor that we've had in our historic neighborhoods for the future. And I think the fortunate thing is had the opportunity to serve on some other commissions and been involved in historic work and restoration of my previous house and upkeep with my current house. So everything that I'm learning, or I've learned, I share with the community and with the board. And so it just makes Janesville a much better place by having that participation. And turning my hat around to the position that I hold for running JATV, which is our community TV channel. We try to cover as many events as we possibly can in a year. But we do also work with a couple of volunteers, and what I'll probably end up doing is, so I don't embarrass them unless they want to talk on camera, I'll share a picture of that was taken of us together recently. But Tess Wynn and Frank Schultz here, we're working on a project, Tales of, and we did a series. So some of you might have seen it. It was at JPAC. We did a Tales of Old Marshall Middle School, which is the JPAC building. We did a Tales of Downtown. We did a Tales of our farms. We did a Tales of Adventure, and we got another one coming up, but I don't know if are we releasing the name of that yet or no? All right. So Tales of Heritage is going to be the next one, Our Heritage. So we're going to be talking about a lot of the different people that have come from other lands, came here to Janesville to make Janesville a better place. So yeah, all over the globe. So we're going to share that in the future, and we've been doing some interviews, and the ball just got rolling this week, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's it. But you know, I don't consider like, you know, I consider it part of the project working with the volunteers. It really is. It's nice. It's involved. We become part of a team together. I don't, you know, and the good thing about it is that they do a lot of the theatrical storytelling and all that stuff. They handle it. We help with the video production, but we share the work together, and that's the nice thing about volunteers. They learn something that I can give to them, and at the same time, they're helping me educate the community of Janesville on the history of where we're from. So I really appreciate the work they do.
Thank you, Alan. I see a couple hands.
I'll make it really quick. I just wanted to say I am Linda Clevin. I'm the manager here at the Senior Center. Yesterday we had our volunteer appreciation because it is Volunteer Appreciation Week. And we had a great turnout. We had 41 people here celebrating being volunteers for the Senior Center. We have over 50, almost 60 volunteers here at the Senior Center, but we're always happy to take more. And last year alone, the volunteers that we have here gave over almost 6,000 hours. And if you look at the independent sector, right now they put the value of 1 hour of volunteer at $29.95. So that's a lot of money if you add it up that they are giving. So again, anybody interested, we're always happy to have more volunteers here at the Senior Center.
Thank you, Linda.
Although she's not officially a volunteer, I want to commend Linda Clevin. She's doing an excellent job for us at the Senior Center and makes it a very fun place to come. And also I would like to thank Janet, because now she's a volunteer, and she did an excellent job when she was director of the Senior Center also. So thank you both. And our new assistant, Brianna, she's off to a good start and doing a wonderful job also.
Thank you. I think I saw Shelley.
Hello everyone, Shelley Slapak, City Recreation Director. I want to thank our Senior Center volunteers that are here. I ditto everything our manager Linda Clevin said. We couldn't do all of our programs without all of our volunteers. Enchanted Forest alone, we have approximately 75 to 100 volunteers that are required per night. So lots of things we do could not happen in our community without the wonderful work of volunteers. I see Kristen Mickelson here. I just want to give a shout out to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, who also give of their time to serve their community with their input. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shelley. And then Kristen, I see Kristen's hand in the back.
Thank you, Shelley. I am Kristen Mickelson. I am a Parks and Rec Advisory Committee member. I'm born and raised in Janesville. I love the city. When I grew up and in high school, I was very involved in a lot of things. But then I went off to college, did my own thing, and then I was like, I'm never going to go back to Janesville. Well, guess what? I came back to Janesville, and I'm so glad that I did. I'm just happy that my husband and I decided to live here, grow our family here. Now I've got 2 little guys that I'm very excited to also have grow up in the community here. And I'm hoping to instill this volunteerism into them as well. I want to, right now it's a little tricky, you know, a 2-year-old and or a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old, a little hard. But when they get a little bit bigger, I want to take them out to do things with me and to volunteer with our community so that they learn to give back to where they live. I think it's very important. So if you can help instill that into our young crowd, I really appreciate that so that they want to come back and stay here too.
Awesome. Absent of any other hands, we certainly appreciate hearing and celebrating, I think, the great testimonies to our volunteers. Before we end, I echo Mark Bumpus's and Councilmember Markline's invitation to anyone in attendance or watching, thanks to the fine folks at JATV, who may not currently be volunteering or know someone who is interested in volunteering, to encourage them to visit www.janesvillewi.gov/volunteer. There we have an easy-to-fill out volunteer interest form that will match you up with the right spot for you. As we've heard, we can certainly make use of you here, and you can be of great service to your neighbors. In closing, I'd like to again extend one last time a thank you to everybody who came out today. As we look towards Janesville's bright future, we extend our sincere gratitude for you folks joining us on that path.